There's a public, obviously, fascination with crime. True crime documentaries are everywhere now. People are genuinely interested. Is there a danger we can over-glamorise criminals? I'm thinking particularly in terms of organised crime, because people are fascinated with organised crime. You think of TV series like The Sopranos and Bob Lad. Is there a worry that we maybe over-glamorise it, or do you think people can separate the reality from the fantasy?
People organised crime, people see that as, so-called gangsters, organised criminals. And that is the thing, and the organised crime thing that goes on is sometimes people think it's bad on bad. The Metropolitan Police is bad on bad, but it's not. Innocent people get killed in that. But the glamorisation of the killers is portrayed in sometimes TV programmes. And there was one on a cable channel. It was about Jeffrey Dahmer, and if you watch that programme, you'd never know who the victims were. So we have to be careful we don't over-glamorise the killer. Because for every single one of these killers, there's at least one victim, or more than victims with some of them, who's someone's daughter, someone's son. And that is the problem. That is the issue. And that, I'm involved in the true crime world. I do TV stuff. I'm involved in killed abroad cases. But what I'm careful is I don't go on a TV programme unless I can be assured that it has got a focus on victims.
Never forget.
And The Hunt for Peter Tobin by BBC was a real victim-focused one. That was on fairly recently. Real victim. It's about the families. And that is the thing. So we do sometimes, yes, we do lose it. People love it. Rightly so. There's an interest in it. But you've got to remember, it's about the victims. It should be victim focus.
At the moment, we've got a well-documented, long-running gangland feud in Glasgow between two factions. The Daniel and Lyons families have been well-documented. There's a tendency to see this as a bit of the outside looking in. It's separate from our own lives. But a lot of these organised crime feuds do impact on local communities, don't they?
Yeah, you had it in Liverpool where, as I say, it's not bad on bad. Yeah, it is predominantly bad on bad. But innocent people get killed.
And caught the crossfire.
You get a young girl in the house that was shot in the house. You get the girl Ellie that was shot in a car park. Innocent people get shot. And that is the thing. But it was interesting recently with the stuff you're speaking about, the feud of the so-called gangsters. It was interesting to hear the Chief Constable of Police Scotland say that the community are giving information. And that's what it's about. It's about the community can't stand it. They don't want it, and they'll provide information. But they're frightened. These individuals can corrupt. They can intimidate, they can manipulate, they can change things around. So we should never say it's just bad on bad. It's, it affects the public. And that's the thing. But
you're encouraged by the fact that police have made, for this particular recent outbreaks of violence since March, have made more than 50 arrests. Yeah. And they have said, this is thanks in part to information from the public.
Exactly.
That's quite interesting.
That is the thing. The public, years ago, they would look on it as, I just let them go on with it. It's nothing to do with me. It is to do with everyone. But the problem is people are frightened to speak up, intimidated, and that's the thing. So, yeah, and, what you've seen here shows you that the police they're good. The police are good at what they do. They're very organised. They've got the technology. The criminals have got the technology. Sure. And we need to move on with it as well. And that's what happens.
Yeah, because that's another key issue as well, that is police keeping up with the criminal technology. We saw that with the police a couple of years ago breaking the EncroChat network, which was a kind of a coded system that criminals were using through their phones to message each other. It's important the police stay one step ahead, isn't it?
They do. I mean, the police are, it's been likened, I've heard people saying it's the biggest gang in the world. The police are so professional. They are. And, people are always ready to criticise the police for, things that they don't do, things that they don't do right. Yes, that happens. But, for someone that knows how things are investigated in other countries, in the murders of Craig Mallon and Lorette Dumas, there's clues for that case. It's been reported in the Daily Record and the Sunday Mail. A lot of work done on it, a lot of media reporting. They don't investigate the same standard here. So if someone, sadly, you get killed abroad, you don't get the same standard of investigation abroad as you get here.
So people should be reassured that our standards are high, that every effort's being made.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in the police anymore, and if there was an issue, I would criticise it. But people are always criticising. We have to accept that the police are the police. The police have got all sorts of resources. The police are very efficient at what they do. But yes, we get it wrong, and there's a lot of cases in Scotland as well, and there's some high-profile ones, which you wouldn't be fair to mention, but there are ones. But when something goes wrong, it's reviewed, and it's looked at, and you have public inquiries and things like that also.
One of the rarest types of murder is one without a body. There's been a calls for a change in the law where the perpetrator is not released until he gives the location of the victim's body. Classic example would be Suzanne Pilley and Arlene Fraser. How difficult is that type of inquiry? And would you support a change of the law, which is being proposed at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I because Peter Tobin was no body murderers, he was hiding the bodies, he was concealing the bodies. And I've done some work with there's a principle like that down in England called Helen's Law. And Helen was murdered by a guy in Sim, never revealed the body. Her mum, who was still in contact with, pushed to get Helen's Law. Sadly, he got out and he died, never revealed the body. But that has been used to stop someone getting bail elsewhere. So, that's all we have just now. But Suzanne Pilley, her body has never been found. And there's a person convicted of it, the same as Arlene Fraser, the same as Linda Spence, Margaret Fleming. These people have never revealed what they've done with the body. And yes, the Susan's Law, and I know there's an MSP, Jamie Green, has been pushing for stuff with that, and it has been tabled. We need to have something like that and stop people getting out. If they don't reveal what they've done with the body, they should.
Particularly they've been convicted and they've been through the appeal process, so there's no doubt that they're
convicted. Yeah. And the thing is that, I would say to anybody listening, I'm sure anyone listening to this, would say, I would say to them, if your loved one was murdered by someone that was in prison that had never revealed what they'd done with the body, you would not want them to get out. So we should have some sort of system like that for the parole.
And obviously it's a particularly difficult inquiry for the police because you don't have any forensics. You don't have anything.
Yes.
Gives you a few.
But that goes back to your perfect murder thing. People think by destroying the body, there's no evidence. You get rid of the evidence. It goes back to Haig, the acid bath killer years ago in the 40s. He killed people with acid and got rid of the body. He still get caught. Dennis Nielsen still get caught. Rosemary Nielsen, Peter Tobin, the other ones, Arlene Fraser's killer, Linda Spence, they're all convicted. Margaret Fleming. So you don't need a body. But if you listen to some of the things that particularly Vicky Hamilton's family were saying when they found out when Tobin was convicted, at least we know what happened to a loved one. There's other people that don't. So there is, the no body murders is a difficult one. But the police, it shows you how good the police are. They still convict. They still get them convicted.
Just one final point, the parole issue. You've raised that with the Vicky Hamilton. There's many people out there who haven't had the chance to bury a loved one. The family of Suzanne Pilley, Arlene Fraser. That should be a factor as well.
It's about the victims. It's not about the killer. Yeah, they're convicted. It's about the victims. So there has been a bit of traction regarding bringing that Suzanne's Law into Scotland.
Okay. You're in the middle of a speaking tour talking about
murder search for the truth. Yeah,
life as a criminal investigator and how you've carried that on, looking at helping families both at home and abroad. Tell us more about that and where people can see it.
Yeah, I mean, that is me and a woman, Heather Sutty. And this is an unusual combination because I did a huge UK tour, 172 venues. It was the first time a senior detective had done something like that on stage all over the UK. And this is like a bit different. I want to do something different. So I'm on it with a journalist, I suppose she is, publicist, journalist. And we're going to 4 venues. We're going to the Lemon Tree Theatre in Aberdeen, the Albert Halls in Stirling, the Barras Art and Design, BAD in Glasgow, and the Harbour Arts in Irvine. And that is going to be a really interesting combination for people because they want to know. So that's why having a journalist or something, it's going to be a totally different thing. I call it the inquisitive publicist and the crime expert on stage together. So it's exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. And that's in September and October.
Finally, how has policing changed over the years compared to when you joined in 1977.
I think I've kind of alluded to it right through here, speaking about it. But, oh yeah, when I joined the police, we didn't have tape-recorded interviews. You made notes, and you would go to court with these notes. And then a tape-recorded interview comes in. And it showed that people did actually admit crimes and make admissions. Now you have video recording. It's changed. So I was in what I call like the old Gene Hunt era.
That's right.
Going back, Life in Mars.
Life in Mars.
I was in the police then, and I've seen it all changing right through to when I left in 2011. It's changed more since then. So I've seen it all, and it's all for the better. It's all for the better. It's more professional. People will say...
More women.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? And more experts. Because the big thing I always said is that as a senior detective, it's not all about me, but yeah, I take the rap for things if it doesn't go right. I liken myself as a football manager. It's all about the team. So we've got all these experts now. The police used to see it, Yorkshire Ripper, it was the detective in charge that was the person. That's not the case. It's teamwork. It's about teams. So it's changed, and it'll continue to change for the better. It's not the good old days. They were the bad old days. We're now in the good old days where it's professional.
I was thinking that we talked earlier about Peter Tobin and Bible John. In reality now, if you have somebody leaving a dance hall with a woman or a disco or a nightclub, whatever you want to call it, you'd be on CCTV.
You'd be caught.
Have that then?
You'd be caught.
Be caught right away.
You'd be caught. And that's the thing. You can't do anything now. You can see all the footage. You can see everything there. There's all sorts of other technology that we probably don't even know about that exists as well. So, no, it's changed, and it'll continue to change, and rightly so. It's about experts, profilers, scientists, analytical people that analyse data, because for years the police thought they had a monopoly on ideas. You don't. You need to use other experts, because, as you say earlier, the criminals are good, and the police need to be better than the criminals, and they continue to be.